I'll tell you, those documents did not come from Tony Bobulinski, and of course, we made a copy of those files before we sent them because we're careful. We got a lot of documents.
So where did these documents come from?
But that's especially true in election years. And before we put them on the air, we have to determine first whether they're real, these were real, whether they're newsworthy, and whether it's legal to show them. We wanted to assess what we had, and we're still assessing it. But the point is, the package never arrived. Proprietary reporting on the Biden family, documents sent between journalists by supposedly secure overnight mail, disappeared. And they vanished on the same day we were conducting.
Notice the furrowed brow here. Tucker is incredibly concerned about what happened with his UPS package. There's multiple allegations he's going to make here.
A heavily publicized interview based in part on documents from the Biden family. So as you can imagine, we wanted to know what happened. Unfortunately, we still don't know what happened. This morning, UPS issued a press release announcing they had found our flash drive and then boasting about their customer service. Quote, UPS will always...
That is fantastic customer service, shit.
...stop working to solve issues, which is fine. UPS is a reliable company. They rarely lose anything. We agree with that. That's why we use them in the first place. And yet they lost our Biden documents. How? UPS won't tell us how. We spent a lot of the day talking to executives there. They claim
I would not be surprised if this is all some kind of ruse.
UPS building on 43rd Street in Manhattan. They suggested it might have been sitting on the floor there. They couldn't prove that because, remarkably, in a room where millions of high-value packages are handled, there are no security cameras. That's what they told us. UPS says the employee who found our flash drive simply dropped it on top of a supervisor's desk. Our documents sat there undiscovered for more than 24 hours until we announced on television that they were missing. That's their story. Obviously, we had some questions about it, but UPS executives did not answer our questions. Quote, there are no more details. Security is returning it. Apologies again that we were unable to deliver it next day at the service level you requested. Our exchanges went on like this for hours. And the main question we had never changed. How did our flash drive get separated from the package that we sent?
My main question, every night that I've played Tucker Carlson for what, the past fucking week, has never changed. What the fuck are you alleging? So now we've got some sketchy ass documents that we don't even know what they are, but we should take Tucker at his word that they are authentic and they are damning. But now we're moving on to a story about how UPS has mishandled it, and he's the victim of some kind of cabal. The deep state also has a fucking stake in UPS.
That seemed like something worth knowing. The envelope was securely sealed. We know that. 2 witnesses saw our producer seal it.
I still don't understand. Okay, so these are documents, a flash drive. You don't have a Dropbox? And why, when you're in New York, you're doing your show from New York, you flew to California to interview this Bobulinski guy, and you needed the actual documents, not a copy of them that you could upload to Dropbox or email. You needed the actual documents shipped to LA for your interview. None of this adds up.
And UPS does not dispute that. Was the package torn open accidentally by a machine? That seems unlikely. UPS says that almost never happens. So we're left with the obvious explanation. Someone, for some reason, opened our package and removed a flash drive containing documents that were damaging to the Biden family. We'd love to know who would do that and why. It would be helpful to see the envelope itself, but UPS says we can't see it because they threw it away.
Over and over again, as we go through these accusations, it's going to come back to this idea that the right and the media, that the media is out to get the right wing. It's always, they're always playing victim. And most of the time, it's just something they fucking made up.
So here we are. We got our flash drive back today, and that's great. What we'd really like are some answers. And speaking of answers, it occurs as reading this that we mentioned the documents that we get from a lot of people. And we've received an awful lot of documents recently about Hunter Biden. We haven't aired.
I wanted what? supposedly you've got your documents back. Can we see them now? Can I see what it is you've got your fucking panties in a wad about? Or is this just subterfuge so you can keep talking about this stupid-ass story up until Tuesday? Occam's razor, ladies and gentlemen. The simplest explanation is usually the best. That's the simplest explanation.
All of them. In fact, many we have not aired. The ones that are pertinent to his business career abroad, favors he did on behalf of foreign clients with the help of his father, that seems relevant. And it seems like news, and we brought it to you. And
Fox News said those don't exist, the news division.
About Hunter Biden's personal life that we haven't brought to you, and we're not going to, and we should tell you why. One is the obvious answer. He's not running for president. And so to the extent those documents pertain to his dad, of course. But Hunter Biden is a fallen man at this point. And I should also say that I knew Hunter Biden fairly well. We lived near each other in Washington for quite some time. I knew his wife, who was an absolutely outstanding person, a good person. I never thought Hunter Biden was a bad person. I thought he had demons, but in the time I knew him, he kept them mostly under control. At some point, he lost control of those demons, and the world knows that now. He's now humiliated and alone. It's probably too strong to say we feel sorry for Hunter Biden, but the point is, pounding on a man, jumping on, piling on, when he's already down is something that we don't want to be involved in.
Wow. So now that you've got your documents back that you've had your hair on fire about, you're not going to show us and we should stop talking about Hunter Biden now. I'm interested to know what Tucker has to say tonight on his show. Look at the smirk on his face. He fucking knows it. That's the face of a man who knows he is absolutely full of shit. Holy fuck. Now, something interesting I saw earlier. Representative Ro Khanna sent a message to Tony Bobulinski. I like saying his name, by the way. Bobulinski. I think I'm saying it correct. Bobulinski. And this message is a little wild. So it has been confirmed. This is a message from Ro Khanna. Tony, hope you're doing okay. I did give an on-the-record statement to the New York Times that I know you. You've always acted honorably with me. You and other family members supported me. I've told any media outlets that have asked the same thing. I've refused to comment on the details of your allegations because I still don't know what the allegations are. The best I can tell is that there was some deal with this company called Sinohawk with the Chinese government, and they have a text message in which they're divvying up some sort of profits from this company, and they're saying they're holding $10 million back for the big guy. And they also made reference to the chairman a couple of times in text messages. Bobulinski's allegation is that the big guy is Joe Biden, and that Hunter Biden was somehow funneling money to Joe Biden. But the Sinohawk deal never happened. There was no money. Fox News has confirmed this. So even if we take the allegations at face value, we don't know that it was a shady business deal. It never happened. We're accusing a man of participating in some hypothetical business deal. But Khanna goes on to say, I respect your service to our country, that you have never been a partisan hack in our interactions. I also made it clear that I do not think you are a Russian agent. I will continue to make that statement to the media. Also, he's apparently given to Ro Khanna before. And Ro Khanna, it must be a pretty high-profile donor if Ro Khanna is messaging him himself multiple times saying he's grateful for his support. Tony Bobulinski must have been giving a lot of money to Ro Khanna, which is odd and really lets me down. Why is Ro Khanna taking money from this shady guy? And yes, I'm going to call him shady because he said he came forward because of the way the Bidens reacted to the story. But that's not true. We know that for a fact. That Bubba Linsky was in on shopping the story to the Wall Street Journal before the New York Post published it. But Bubba Linsky's statement on record is that he came forward after the Post story and the way the Biden family denied it. Or the way the Biden campaign handled it, or whatever the fuck he said. So now, in the comments from the clips last night, we'll take the second one is probably going to be the one where we actually get some information and we might be able to come to a conclusion about something. This is just going to be Alex Jones ranting. So I figured it'll be fun to play. Haven't heard from Alex Jones in a while. But this was in response to me asking for evidence. Right-wingers posted this under my clip. So let's see if this is evidence that convinces us.
President Trump just confirmed what Rudolph Giuliani has been laying out. They are set to release what we broke 2 weeks ago.
President Trump and Rudy Giuliani, they confirm it. Because those are two reliable sources that have never lied about anything and have impeccable reputations.
Evidence of Hunter Biden engaged in sex acts with underage minors, and it's all breaking right now.
And we have.
Do I even have to pull it up? Do I have to pull up the court documents? I'm sorry. I made a comment that we wouldn't be hearing from Trump tonight. I'm sorry. Alex Jones snuck him in. Here is the complaint. Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, alleges that Trump raped a 13-year-old girl. So now back to Alex Jones.
Have what's called the laptop from hell. The laptop from hell. From what I've understood, you only have seen a tiny portion of it. But you know what the press is now doing? They're blaming Russia. It's Russia that did it. Russia's the one that created the laptop.
As producers Dave pointed out,
underage girls there are.
This is too stupid for Russia.
That show that he's getting 10%. There are documents that show that he's getting half of what Hunter gets. There are.
Wow.
You can say what you want about Rudolph Giuliani.
I have. I've said a lot of shit about Rudolph Giuliani. I'll reiterate that Rudy Giuliani is a absolute dumb fuck.
I wasn't pro-war, but no one can deny that he is a former respected federal prosecutor that brought down the mob in New York. He is not the Steele dossier that the Clintons paid for that was proven to be fake day one and never showed one real piece of evidence.
Wasn't proven fake, and also it started as GOP op research against Trump.
So when Giuliani came out 2 weeks ago with Chinese dissidents who had seen the laptop and reported that it showed pedophilia, showed illegal acts with Hunter Biden and others, you knew it was accurate.
Oh, do I? Because apparently the FBI has been in possession of these materials for over a year, and if it was accurate, Hunter Biden would have already been arrested, so...
He's never put out defamation like that. That would destroy his name forever. Then the media tried to claim, oh, it's Russian disinfo. But U.S. intelligence came out and said, no, it's real from this laptop shop in Delaware.
It would seem that there were people in the Ukraine shopping this story around October of last year. You can look that one up.
And so now, 2 weeks later, they don't deny that the laptop is real. They just hope you forget about it. But it's not just the laptop. In a moment, we're going to play the audio that came out over a week ago with no coverage.
Ooh.
Which is confirmed. The Bidens haven't denied it of Hunter Biden talking about getting $1 million from the head of Chinese intelligence. He talks about how the Southern District of New York is investigating him in a
Fox News said that deal never happened.
Criminal case and how scared he is. All of this is happening. And then on top of it, National File came out over a week ago. They've confirmed this is accurate as well, with Joe Biden's daughter talking about sexual abuse and other bizarre behavior, drug abuse, you name it. This is a family of very degenerate, insane drug addicts who are clearly mentally ill. And that's why they're the perfect group for corrupt
Absolutely.
organizations in the U.S. and in China to recruit them and control them. So here's what Giuliani said 2 weeks ago.
Giuliani, Trump, I can go on. Mitch McConnell, just all of them, cancer.
A clip of this is on our video, seen more than 3.3 million times at Band.video. And then we'll play a large part of the exchange where Giuliani was on with Lisa Kennedy on Fox News last night. And she was trying to say again.
Is that her name? I've never heard her full name before. Lisa Kennedy. I just thought she was Kennedy. Kennedy.
He's like the Steele dossier that's been proven to be total fraud, when what he's laid out has been proven to be real. Because the media can't deny this information. They can just try to call it disinformation.
I do believe that Jones has admitted in court.
Because this information will bring down not just the Bidens, but the entire deep state.
And when you look at these photographs that are disgusting and horrible,
Banned video. Yes, this is what we want to see.
Chinese have every single one, probably 10 times more. Because what the Chinese government has been doing, and a country was totally undefended against this, is setting Biden up, putting him in a position where he's totally compromised. They've now given him so much money, he's totally compromised. They now have pictures of his son doing things that I can't describe, some of which are illegal.
And some could say that you were acting like Christopher Steele, that you were abstracting information, and because
you got to be kidding me! I was acting like Christopher Steele.
That's what it sounds like when you look at the people.
You better apologize for that. I mean, I've been a United States Attorney, Associate Attorney General, Mayor of New York City, and a member of the bar.
Apparently, the office he ran is currently investigating him.
I'm accusing you of acting in a capacity similar to Christopher Steele, and that you were going back and forth between
similar to
Ukraine
an obstructor of justice
and the United States.
What you are saying is an outrageous defamation of me, of my reputation. Every single thing is here, and I want you to look at it, and then you apologize to me.
Look at it.
Well, you can come to my.
We're dying to look at it, and I would not go to Giuliani's hotel room if that's where.
I'm like Christopher Steele.
I would not go anywhere Giuliani invited me. Kennedy, don't do it.
There are documents that show that he's getting 10%. There are documents that show that he's getting half of what Hunter gets. There are. And when they're there, I want you to apologize to me because you just defamed me.
Absolutely.
And that's outrageous because you have no basis.
Nobody has to defame Rudy Giuliani. He will defame himself.
That is being withheld from the American people, and I get defamed. That's outrageous.
We are only a few days away from the election. And my White House sources, as well as Fox News sources, tell me that by tomorrow, more information is about to break concerning the Hunter Biden laptop that dwarfs anything that's been released.
By tomorrow.
And we have what's called the laptop from hell. The laptop from hell. From what I've understood, you only have seen a tiny portion of it.
Also breaking, James Rosen of Sinclair Broadcasting is now reporting that a criminal investigation by the FBI.
Now, James Rosen is who we're getting ready to watch here in just a second. Now, this is a more credible, but still talking about Sinclair Broadcasting. Ooh.
Has officially been opened into the Biden crime family.
A Justice Department official confirmed to Sinclair that back in 2019, the FBI opened up a criminal investigation into Hunter Biden and his associates.
Now, this isn't new news. We've known this, and that's why I'm calling bullshit on the child porn. If the FBI has had an investigation into this dude for over a year and he had child porn on a laptop, he would already be busted, especially in a Trump Justice Department. It makes zero fucking sense.
We're about to play audio of Hunter Biden talking about working with the head of Chinese intelligence.
Let's hear this audio.
Emails have been confirmed to be his, where he gives wiring instructions to the Chi-Com spy chief on where to send the money. Ladies and gentlemen, history is happening right now, and this entire house of criminal cards is coming down.
I get calls from my father to tell me that the New York Times is calling, but my old partner, Eric, who literally has done me harm for I don't know how long, is the one taking the calls because my father will not stop sending the calls to Eric. I have another New York Times reporter calling about my representation of literally, Dr. Patrick Coe, the spy chief of China, who started the company that my partner, who was worth $323 billion, founded, and is now missing. The richest man in the world is missing, who was my partner. He was missing since I last saw him in his $58 million apartment and signed a $4 billion deal to build the largest LNG port in the world. And I am receiving calls from the Southern District of New York, from the U.S. Attorney himself. My best friend in business, Devin, has named me as a witness without telling me in a criminal case, and my father without telling me.
We're only 4 days out from the most historic election in world history, and to see big tech attempting to censor this information is absolutely damning evidence that they are
I disagree with you there, Creed Daly. Burn it down.
colluding with.
What? I had not seen this picture before. Is he hung?
And my father without telling me.
We're only 4 days out from the most historic election in world history, and to see big tech attempting to censor.
Whoa, in world history. That is a bold claim. In world history.
Is absolutely damning evidence that they are colluding with and working with not just the traitors in our government and the bureaucracy, but the communist Chinese themselves. But we, the American people, understood what was happening.
Oh, wait a minute.
In world history.
Were those supposed to be underage girls?
Attempting to censor this information is absolutely damning evidence that they are colluding with and working with.
Is that supposed to be a kid right there? Is that what they're alleging? First of all, this looks photoshopped with his head.
With not just the traitors in our government and the.
Is this supposed to be a kid? In the universe. The most important election in the universe. In the multiverse.
Bureaucracy, but the communist Chinese themselves. But we, the American people, understood what was happening when the censorship intensified 3 years ago, and we set up organizations like Ban.video, where this report and others are hosted. So you can share it on your email, share it on your instant message, and share it by word of mouth, and also on Facebook, Twitter, Google, and you name it. But if you don't share this information, Biden has a chance of being able to steal this election. So please, research this info for yourself. There's so much more that we can't even have time to cover, and then get it out to everyone you know, because you are the modern Paul Revere's. Whether you be black.
That was the kind of robe he was wearing, wasn't it? It looked like Buffalo Bill up in there.
White, old or young, I salute you. Good luck, and God bless.
We told you what was going to happen, and
Ooh. That was a lot. All right, so now we're going to go over here to the James Rosen from Sinclair broadcast. I've spent fucking 20-something minutes on this. This dumbass story. But that's what they're wanting. That's what they're wanting people to do. They're wanting to suck the air out of everything else. And they want Hunter Biden to dominate the news cycle. That's their play. They think it's the reopening of the Hillary emails from 2016.
official confirmed to Sinclair that back in 2019, the FBI opened up a criminal investigation into Hunter Biden and his associates that is focused on allegations of money laundering and remains open and active today. Tony Bobulinski, thank you for joining us from Los Angeles. Separately, Tony Bobulinski, the former business partner of Hunter Biden, who has cited emails, documents, and other evidence to allege that former vice...
He has not cited shit. He's held up some phones. We've heard some audio out of context. Q-tip Mike Pence. Oh.
Vice President Biden was more deeply involved in his son's business dealings in China than either man has acknowledged, told Sinclair he was interviewed by the FBI in Washington on October 23rd with counsel present for about 5 hours, with up to 6 agents in the room at one time. He said the agents carefully examined the digital evidence captured on the 3 cell phones Bobulinski made available and told him he will be brought back for additional questioning.
They do list me as a material witness within the entire FBI on their computer systems, and it was a very cooperative, deep dive into all the facts across that time period.
In connection with what were you listed as a material witness?
In connection with the discussion of the Biden family, CFC, and other operations around the world involving other countries.
CEFC is the Chinese energy giant, effectively an arm of the government and the Communist Party, with which Hunter Biden pursued a $10 million deal, according to Bobulinski's first-hand account and a wealth of evidence now in the public domain. It was from CEFC, according to a Senate report, that Hunter Biden's law firm, through a company he helped set up, received approximately $5 million in the summer of 2017.
Joe, what's that all about? This president paid 50 times the tax in China.
It was prior to the final presidential debate in Nashville on October 22nd.
He had a secret bank account.
A former Naval Nuclear Command officer with a...
Like, you want to talk about a presidential candidate's kids having business connections in China? You should look at the Trumps. God damn. And that's another, like, it's just projection. Everything from the right is projection. Accuse the other side of what you're doing like goddamn Nazis.
Clearance, now a wealthy corporate investor, first went public with his charges about the Biden family, including his account of 2 face-to-face meetings with the former vice president. The FBI interviewed Bobulinski the very next day. Did you get the sense that the FBI had already been working on these related issues and matters prior to you making that public statement in Nashville?
My impression is everyone in that room was very aware of the sensitivity of the parties involved here and potential multiple impacts to this country.
Vice President Biden has denied having any knowledge of his son's overseas business dealings, but the authenticity of the digital evidence that Bobulinski has cited has not been disputed by the Biden campaign.
The authenticity of the evidence. That's what they keep saying. That's how they're not actually proving that this shit happened. They're saying, oh, no. We think it's real. We think we authenticated it. I'm still waiting for this damning evidence.
The campaign's director of rapid response did not respond to our requests for comment. In Washington, James...
And I don't think they should. This is just an attempt at subterfuge to suck the air out of any other story that might happen, especially trying to take the air out of the coronavirus spike that's going on right now that can directly be blamed for the inaction by the stupid-ass president. Now, this next story is not the Hunter Biden laptop story, but is about the Hunter Biden laptop.